gonna get back into it. Let's jump into Rev. Apparently, people are losing their shit about the new Super Mario Galaxy movie, because it's not woke, I guess. Uh, so let's see what's going on. I legit like I've only seen one thing about Super Mario Galaxy, and that was like Bowser was shrunk down in a castle, doing paintings of Peach, and like that's the only thing I've seen about the Super Mario Galaxy movie, really. So I'm kind of curious why this is not fit. Like, has this? Oh, and this released? Oh, this came out already. Okay.
All
I
right,
didn't even realize this
my
came
first
out.
deal.
My view
I did my first
no?
drug deal.
Oh, thank
I'm
God.
a drug dealer now,
Hey.
chat. Well, if there's enough time, maybe we'll look at Drinker's review. But let's take a look at Rev's review.
Hey, what's up guys, Rev here. So in this video, I'm going to be talking about the Super Mario Galaxy movie and the very interesting and polarizing reactions to it, where largely journalists are having an absolute meltdown over this film and saying,
Oh, nickname, he just got out of the theater before stream, and it's fucking awesome. Great. Fantastic. So so nickname, you might be able to put a fine point on how these journalists are full of...
Step, sis?
Wait, what was that? Hang on, I gotta replay that. I did not hear that. Hang on. I gotta turn that up. Oh, it's not registering. Weird. Okay. I'll have to listen back to it. Yeah, nickname, maybe you can put a fine point on how wrong these fucking journalists are.
some very disparaging things in the reviews of it. They are reminding us why journalists do not deserve any of our respect. Now, nobody is surprised at the success of this film in terms of its box office. It's already
122 million in 2 days. That's impressive.
122 million worldwide in just 2 days. This is a cash cow IP. Nobody is surprised by this. But what's interesting is the reaction of moviegoers versus critics.
Okay, this is actually not surprising. Legit, critics hating it, fans loving it, is expected. This was 100% expected because literally, right, let's be real. Mainstream movie critics are dumb. Nobody gives a fuck about the mainstream movie critics. This is proven by the failures and successes of movies where the critics hate it and the movie is a wild success, and the movies the critics love are a wild failure. That right there is all the evidence you need to show that mainstream film critics are dead. They're done. They need to just hang up their they need to hang up their laptops and go put the fries in the bat. No one gives a fuck what any mainstream movie critics say. You know who everybody gets their movie information from? You want to know what movie critics people fucking trust? YouTubers. YouTubers are who people trust for legit movie reviews. Drinker, Nerdrotic, Geeks and Gamers, to a small degree, Angry Joe. I'm not sure Red Letter Media really, I don't think anybody really watches them anymore. But yeah, Drinker right now is the top choice when it comes to movie critics. No, you can't choose me because I don't watch, Jeremy Johns, Joe Blow Movies perhaps. Clownfish, Clownfish is another one. Yeah, why? Because those, Paul Chatto, Disparu, why? Because these are not quote unquote movie critics. These are movie fans. They're just guys and gals that love movies, and they'll give you they're not looking at like, oh, it was technically very good, and it showcased this intrinsic emotion about why this person wanted their balls chopped off. No, we're talking, the YouTubers are people that just love movies. They love watching movies. They love being entertained. They look at the entertainment value before they look at the messaging value, or whether or not it's Oscar bait or whatever. That's why people trust the YouTubers over mainstream film critics. Mainstream film critics always look for the message first. YouTube movie critics look for the entertainment and fun first. And they're always right. The YouTube movie critics are pretty much always right. Well, Mueller usually gets right, although Mueller didn't like Deadpool and Wolverine, so he's a teeny bit on my shit list because he didn't like Deadpool and Wolverine, but it wasn't his thing. I can appreciate that. I don't fault him for it. But they give honest reviews. They don't fuck around. They've actually done movie reviews where they see a movie that's due to come out and they go, this looks like shit. The promotions that the actors are doing are full of messaging. The preview looks terrible. This looks like an absolutely horrible movie. And then they actually watch the movie and it's good. And they go, you know what? It was actually good. They won't doggedly stick to their preconceived notions about something. Excuse me. If they see a movie that they think is going to be horrible and it ends up being good, they say it was good. They say, you know what? I was wrong about this when I was talking about the trailer. This movie was actually good. It was actually entertaining. It was actually fun. It had a good story. The acting was done well, and I was wrong. They will actually admit that they were wrong in their preconceived notions about it. That's why people trust the YouTube movie reviewers, and no one trusts the mainstream movie reviewers. The mainstream movie reviewers need to just close their laptops and find new jobs, because no one gives a fuck what they have to say. Absolutely no one cares what regular movie reviewers say anymore. Not a one.
So you can see on Rotten Tomatoes here, a 90% rating among moviegoers. We might. 40%
when it comes
among
out,
critics.
Yeah, you know what? When it comes out on video, we will watch the first one. We may do a double feature and watch the first Super Mario Brothers movie and then watch the Super Mario Galaxy movie when it comes out on for streaming or DVD.
And these pompous, smug reviews will leave you basically scratching your head. Some of the people who are making these reviews criticize the film for promoting things like the toxic manosphere. Some journalists claiming that this is the downfall of the entire movie industry, and other reviewers coming out and saying they had to physically harm themselves in order to get through the film. Very weird stuff, but...
Okay, so we're not just dealing with reing SJRs, we are dealing with escaped insane asylum patients. If a quote-unquote movie reviewer claims that they have to inflict self-harm in order to get through a movie, you have problems and you need to absolutely be finding a different line of work. And in fact, you should be checking yourself into a mental facility immediately.
Perhaps even weirder is the reaction from the so-called journalists over at Kotaku who have seen this movie for kids and have been inserting very bizarre headcanon on characters.
I've been hearing about this, that these SJR journalists are so desperate to inject a message into anything. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this was Kotaku that put this one out. They're so desperate to inject the message into literally fucking everything. They're trying to twist it to make it seem like Bowser is bisexual because of like one scene, I think, in the movie where he kisses Mario. And so because he did that, they are desperately trying to basically, wave the LGBT flag and say, look, Bowser's bisexual. Yeah. Like Kotaku just shut down. Kotaku, close the doors. Nobody gives a fuck what you have to say. Your reputation is dead. All of your journalists are hacks that don't actually live in reality. No one fucking cares about you. You're done. Go put the fries in the bag.
Characters like Bowser that they're claiming are bisexual for some reason. Very interesting stuff.
No. Sorry, I'm pausing a lot. I'm sorry, but I have something to say. There is a reason. There's a reason why they're trying to paint Bowser as bisexual. Because they're trying to blur what is a bad guy. That's why they do it. That's what these people do. It's not copium. They're trying to say, oh, Bowser's actually bisexual, so he's not actually a bad guy. It's once again trying to eliminate the concept of good and evil, so they're trying to brainwash the populace so they can't identify when they actually do evil shit, like indoctrinate children and mutilate children by brainwashing them into thinking they're trans or something. It's this deliberate brainwashing, obfuscation, and blurring the lines of what is actually good and evil, so they can basically try and destroy the entire concept to hide when they actually commit acts of evil. That's why they do it.
From Kotaku, as expected, you can see what's going on here. Right, on the one hand, you have moviegoers who seem to be enjoying this film. That's not really too surprising. But on the other hand, you have this barrage of weird and aggressive behavior from all of these journalists. Now, when it comes to the film itself, again, it's coming off of the previous iteration that made nearly $1.5 billion in the box office, and it looks like Galaxy is heading in the same direction. If you enjoyed the first film, you're likely going to enjoy this one as well. If you don't take it too seriously, if you're not going into this expecting a Shakespearean level...
Yeah. I've heard that. Like, how sick are these people that they're going to inject LGBT concepts into a movie that A, doesn't have them, and B, is a kid's movie? Because that's what these fucking freaks do. They try to indoctrinate children, and that's why they're trying to inject this ideology into a movie that doesn't have it. So they can try and brainwash children. These sick, twisted fucks.
Of storytelling here, I'm sure you're going to have a fun time. It is what it is. Nobody's expecting a 10 out of 10 polished piece here when it comes to a Mario movie. But this is a big project, and there's a lot of big name actors providing the voice roles for this film, and it's so important that even people like Brie Larson were on their best behavior for this entire project. A pretty
I saw this little
redeeming arc
interview
for her. She did not use her spotlight here to bash men or other potential moviegoers like she has in the past. She was on her best behavior when taking the role of Rosalina and seemed genuinely happy to be there and grateful for the opportunity. But while she was not saying anything about men or toxic behavior or anything like that this time, some of the reviewers took time to talk about things like the toxic manosphere. Once again, thanks to Grace Randolph for providing the absolute worst take you'll ever see.
Honestly, why does anyone give this, plastic surgery freak show any oxygen? Seriously, does anybody actually watch her shit? Does anybody watch her videos or her channel? Who is she? She is an SJR insane freak that deserves to go into the box. This is the same cunt that basically was bashing on a man with Tourette's because the movie in question that was made about his life was going to be receiving an award at the BAFTA Awards in the UK. And when Michael B. Jordan and Delroy Lindo came on stage to present an award of some type. I don't know if it was an award for this movie about this man's life. When these two men came onto the stage, this gentleman who has Tourette's is uncontrollable, and they made an entire goddamn movie about his life. They came on stage and he just yelled out the N-word twice. That's it. He has Tourette's. Everybody in the fucking room knew he had Tourette's. And this fucking pale cunt decided to basically say, oh yeah, he really meant that shit. He should have controlled it. Tourette's. The condition that causes uncontrollable tics and verbalizations. And this stupid, uneducated slut decided to say, oh, he should have controlled that. Why does anybody listen to this fucking hag? And good question, is it actually she? I don't fucking know. But why the hell does anybody listen to this fucking hag? She does not have brain one in her head. She has absolutely zero insight into the Hollywood industry and movies. She is a fucking moron. Why is anybody giving her oxygen?
About a piece of media.
I continue to feel that Bowser and now Bowser Jr. are a little bit too actually evil. Like, it goes beyond.
There it is. There it fucking is. She just said the fucking quiet part out loud. Exactly what I was saying. She said the quiet part out loud. Oh, they're painting them as being too evil. We can't do that. We need to have sympathetic villains so we can hide what good and evil actually is. So when we do evil, you won't recognize it, and that way we can indoctrinate your children. Fuck you, cunt.
Cartoon villainy. I think maybe because they kind of mimic like the toxic manosphere that is like, I don't know if it's become.
By the way, not a thing that exists. The quote unquote toxic manosphere, yeah, that doesn't exist. Kind of like Islamophobia doesn't exist. These are made up fucking words, and they don't exist. You dumb bitch.
More and more popular if it's maybe finally reached its breaking point, but you know, I see a lot of similar talking points there.
The toxic manosphere, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, that is a crazy term to be thrown around in 2026.
She looks like a sex doll come to life that no guy wants to fuck. She's the sex doll that's left on the shelf and guys looking and go, ew, next, and move on to the next one.
Gentlemen, I mean, that is a crazy term to be thrown around in 2026. But that really represents a lot of things going on here, where the official reviewers are bashing this for the most ridiculous reasons, but the moviegoers are enjoying this movie, and you can see
movie critics don't matter anymore.
Scores here,
they're useless.
The user score is a 7.8, generally favorable, and the critic reviews are flipped. It is generally unfavorable with a 30.
One of these days, people will say the angry man with the funny mustache in Germany wasn't bad. Guess what? They already say that. That is already said today. Kind of like how they say communists are not bad, and actually we love communism. They're already saying it. This is what twisting this shit has been doing for years. Is that now evil is just misunderstood, and we actually love evil. We're already fucking there.
5. And when you start looking at the reviews from these critics, you start understanding how unhinged these people are. Here is the Times and their 0 they gave this film, stating this: the film is torturous to sit through and, for me, provoked periods of actual physical discomfort. I had to stab myself repeatedly in the hand with a pen to distract from the howling distress. It's that bad and that offensive.
Put them in the box. Put them in the padded box. If this person is saying that they had to stab themselves in the hand with a pen to distract from the quote unquote howling distress, they need to go in the box. They are a dangerous society. Anyone that sits through a movie and is literally causing themselves physical harm to be able to watch that movie, I don't care if it's your fucking job to do it. They need to get put in the box. This is someone that will harm another person. This is someone that I have no doubt, this Kevin Maher person, if you're willing to do this to yourself because of a movie that you consider bad, what are you going to do to another person who disagrees with you about something? This is the kind of person that you see on the news stories that basically gets into an argument with someone about a disagreement and then they stab them 30 times. That's what this reads to me. This person needs to be checked into a secure mental health facility, and we need to bring asylums back, and this guy needs to be headfirsted right into a fucking mental asylum. He does not deserve to be in public society. He is a threat to public society with his own words.
Ladies and gentlemen, send this guy straight to Arkham Asylum. You're admitting in your review that you were inflicting pain on yourself to try to get through a physically
How do these people become batshit insane like this? Because they're encouraged to do it. because in the circles they run in the leftist SJR circles, they're actually encouraged to do this. That's why. They're part of the hive mind, and they're part of the cult, and the cult actually encourages them to go to these extreme measures because it makes them special. Because this is what special people do. That when they're having a moment and they can't get to their safe space, that commit self-harm to try and distract their mind. That's part of the brainwashing of these people. That's why.
Comforting movie-going experience, like, it cannot be that deep. Oh, but it is. Here's the actual review from the Times saying the Super Mario Galaxy movie review. Is this the...
Oh, God, and you guys can't see it in the lower left corner. He's there. He is the Times' chief film critic. He's not just a film critic. He's the chief film critic of the Times. Boy, who the fuck is the Times hiring that they're going to let escaped insane asylum patients write for their paper? Boy, if you needed more evidence not to partake of anything that the Times puts out, here you fucking go.
End of cinema. Yes, they believe this is the end of cinema, and again, describe it as a physically painful experience to get through this Mario movie, but they continue on with more insanity.
Michael, I want to say something, but it would be too cruel. Oh, I want to say something right now. But it would be much too, nope. Unlike insane asylum patients, like the writer of this article, I actually have self-control, and I'm actually not going to say it because even I realize that it's pushing it. Despite popular opinion, it might be a Geneva Convention violation, and I'm not going to say that.
And yet, how can anyone involved in this emetic effort live with themselves at a time when cinema is fighting for its existence and defining itself as a recognizable expression of lived human experience? This is precisely the kind of ugly, over-branded, lifeless digital marketing vomit that represents the sinister end of it all.
Translation. This person is LGBT. They want all movies to basically affirm everything LGBT, cram it down people's throats. That's what they say, defining itself as a recognizable expression of lived human experience, which, by the way, is not the purpose of films. The purpose of movies, generally speaking, is not to define itself as a recognizable expression of a lived human experience. Movies, by their very definition, are fiction and are fantasy and are just supposed to be a fun escape. That is what movies are, by and large, supposed to do. They are not there to affirm your delusions. They're not there to affirm your degeneracy. They're meant to be fun and entertaining. So, translation of him saying ugly, overbranded, lifeless digital marketing vomit. Translation, the movie didn't message to him.
This guy must be fun at parties. Just kidding. He never gets invited to them.
That's what this guy is saying. This guy is saying, because this movie didn't pander to the SJRs and the LGBT community ad nauseum, it's ugly, horrible slop, and I hate it because it didn't pander to me. Because I guarantee you this fucker has she, him, or, yeah, actually, I tripped myself there. This guy probably has she, him in a fucking Twitter bio, along with the Palestine flag and the LGBT flag and the trans flag. So because it didn't pander to his, like, demographic and his insanity, oh, it's terrible.
This person is so dramatic, it's actually pretty shocking, even for a journalist. I mean, they're saying, how can the people involved with this film live with themselves? You would think this was the people who created Cuties or something. We're talking about the Mario movie.
No. This guy probably lauded Cuties as a masterpiece. I have no doubt that this guy, without question, celebrated Cuties and thought it was a masterclass of filmmaking. I have zero doubt.
Okay, like Mario Galaxy here, like it's not that deep. I think you went into this with way too high of expectations. Just because, yes, it is a movie tailored towards kids doesn't mean it can just be a steaming pile of garbage. But I think your expectations were a little bit too high for this one. And anytime
Okay, let me address this. Yeah, I know you guys are saying that the LGB individuals are kind of like done with the TQ plus thing. Again, I will remind you, it is the activists that they're done with. Okay, I've talked about this ad nauseum. I'm going to briefly mention it again. They're not done with the T part of the acronym. Generally speaking, they're done with the activist T's. Okay, that needs to be defined. This is why I say that the actual trans community, not the performative cunts that are always that are desperate to say I'm special, you have to treat me special. They're not T. They're not part of that. And this is why I've said that the trans community needs to fucking gatekeep. Okay? Because actual trans people, the ones that just want to live normal lives, not be treated special, and just want to be treated like a normal human being, and they treat others as normal human beings in return, they don't like those activists. They don't like the people that claim to be trans but are actually just dog shit losers that know they're losers and have basically like forcibly tried to inject themselves. The autogonophilias that are using it for kink purposes, or they're using it just so they can feel special. Okay, those, I'm going to make this nice and sparkling clear. Those people are not transgender. I am flat out saying it. Those people, those activists, they are not transgender. Those are the people that the LGBT don't like. And this is why I say actual transgender people, actual people that go through actual body dysmorphia, you need to start gatekeeping. You absolutely need to start gatekeeping, and all of these freaks that are trying to claim that they are one of you, you need to shut them the fuck down. You need to publicly say, you're not trans. You're a freak that is trying to use us as a means of fulfilling your sick fantasies or your sick fetishes with women and children. You transgender people, please hear me. You need to start doing this. You need to start gatekeeping. You need to start publicly calling these out and disavowing these people. Because that's who the LGBT individuals, when they say we're done with the TQ plus stuff, though the activists are the ones that they hate. That distinction needs to be fucking made.
someone unironically uses a phrase like lived human experience, boy, you're about to read the worst take imaginable, and that proves true.
And yes, body dysphoria is technically a mental illness, and so what? Just because someone who is trans and has body dysphoria, just because they have mental illness does not automatically make them a freak like the others that basically go to extremes just so they can fulfill kinky fantasies because they're autogonophilias. Okay? There is a difference. Many people have mental illness. People that suffer depression have a mental illness. Doesn't mean that they get ostracized by society.
True. Once again, I don't know if that's worse or better than the toxic manosphere, but they're pretty obnoxious, both of them. But it seems like all ends of the spectrum here are upset about this movie, at least when it comes to journalists. The New York Post says this: Super Mario Galaxy movie review. It'll make $1 billion. And it sucks.
Are we shocked
Please,
this comes from the New York Post?
Don't make it so obvious that you are literally seething about this movie.
Oh, yeah,
But again, this represents
to the extreme.
disconnect we see with Rotten Tomatoes. The 40% versus 90% here. A huge, huge difference. But people on Twitter are defending this disparity, saying this just proves that fans will mindlessly consume slop. Which is interesting to say because I got a very different takeaway. I think this proves that people don't want to consume the slop that journalists are making. Nobody wants to listen to these critics anymore because this is the disparity. They're out of touch. And in this case, being
They're
genuinely
useless, let's be real.
unhinged in their reviews, like genuinely angry and talking about stabbing themselves and doing crazy stuff like that. But this leads me into Kotaku, who didn't really have much to say about the quality of the movie. Instead, they were making insane headcanon-fueled articles about various characters. But I want to talk about Kotaku just for a second before we get into their articles, because Kotaku has a
You're right. You're right. Slop is the new meaningless word. It has been thrown around by bad actors so long. You're absolutely correct. Calling something slop has effectively lost its meaning. Once again, grotesquely overused to the point that its meaning is done. So now saying something is AI slop, saying something is slop, calling people slop tubers. Again, overused to such an extreme degree, nobody gives a fuck anymore. The word has basically lost its meaning, and nobody fucking cares. And Arctic, thank you for the tier 1.
A very interesting relationship with Nintendo. About 3 years ago, you can see Luke Plunkett here, a contributor for Kotaku.
Oh, God.
Making this very
Hello,
racist
Toxie.
post.
Welcome in.
And for context, this is what he had a reaction to. This was his reaction to finding out that Nintendo had placed Kotaku on a publisher blacklist, meaning they weren't going to give away free products and games for Kotaku to test out and review. If they wanted to review...
Good. Do it to them all. Do it to them all. Game publishers, do it to every single one of them. Do not give game journalists advanced copies anymore. Do not. I think game developers should eliminate the concept of advanced copies for any reviewers. Just completely eliminate it. Do away with it because it doesn't do anything. If you want to do something like that, look for actual game tubers. Look for YouTubers who really love games. Don't do it from the mainstream game journalist. Fuck that. Yeah, no advanced. Yeah, remove the advanced everything. No advanced previews. No advanced game copies. Nope. Get rid of it. Get rid of it. Let everybody pay for it. Even the reviewers. If the reviewers want to review it, let them pay for it. Don't give them advanced copy along with swag. Let them fucking pay for it. So that way, when they're actually playing it, they can actually go, was this worth the money I spent on it? Because then you'll get an honest review. When somebody has to spend their own hard-earned money on a game or to go see a movie, you'll actually get an honest review because along with being entertained or not by the movie or the game, they're also going to be thinking, was this worth the money I just spent to watch this movie or play this game? Because when it's their own money on the line, they'll actually give actual advice, or they will give an actual review because they've spent money on it. And so it's not like they're going to get it in with a publisher or a studio to get advanced copies or advanced screenings that they don't have to pay for, along with some sweet swag. You eliminate the advanced copies, the swag, all that, the access. You eliminate all that, and you make them pay to watch the movie or play the game. You'll actually get an honest review for once, because it's their own money, and so they have to make the decision: was this worth the money that I spent to have this product? And you'll actually, was it worth the money? Yes? No. Just remove it. Remove advanced screenings and advanced copies. You might actually see some balance coming into reviews.
Something they'd have to go and consume it, go purchase it. So this was his reaction to no longer getting stuff for free. An insanely racist post. So yeah, I can understand why Kotaku would be blacklisted by Nintendo. And if they weren't already, this might have sealed it up as well.
Yeah, okay, I'm pausing a lot. I'm so sorry, but I don't care. Yeah, it's true. A lot of victim SJRs will buy the games and still shit on them for clout. You are correct. You are correct that they'll do it. But if they have to keep spending their money over and over again, they're going to very quickly realize it's not a good investment of their money to buy games and shit on them for clout when they're getting nothing back in return. When they're not, when you know, because people will recognize very quickly someone who buys a game or purchases a movie ticket for the express reason to shit on a game. It will be recognized very quickly, and people will stop caring about what that person says. And if they keep doing it, they're now just pissing money away and they're getting nothing in return. And very soon they'll stop because people will know that they give a disingenuous review. So if you have a monetary incentive where they need to spend their own money, even if it's to shit on a game to spread the message, the people will stop giving them money for this bullshit review. They'll realize they're disingenuous. They'll stop giving them money in return with clicks or views or likes or whatever. And now they're just spending money. And just like with some of the gaming industry, where they're shutting down studios because they keep pissing money away, they'll stop because financially it's not a viable method to operate on.
Well, where this is their big article posted just today, titled Bowser, I Know What You Are, Bisexual. The Super Mario Galaxy movie is giving gay Bowser truthers ammunition.
Okay, I need to hang on a second. Kenneth, okay, I need to look up something here really quick. One moment, please. I have to check something. See if I can find this fucker. Hang on. Uh-huh. Yeah, found him. Chat, I know you're all going to be shocked and amazed by this. Hang on. I realize this may shock and amaze you, but oh, look at that. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Pronouns in bio. Rainbow flag. Hiding behind protected. Anybody shocked by this? Yeah. SJR writer for Kotaku. And of course they say, oh, because Bowser has to be bisexual. Of course. The guy spouting pronouns in the rainbow flag in bio, of course, is saying, oh, Bowser's gotta be bisexual. Because of course.
This is Unhinged. These people are so desperate to find, I guess, validation of their identity through media like this that they're going to watch.
That's exactly it.
Really just a movie made for kids, largely. And look at one of the characters and based on basically nothing burgers, assume the character must be bisexual. Here's their proof, by the way. So let's read. The Super Mario Galaxy movie is a 98-minute barrage of references to Mario history, and while it was absolutely not Illumination's intention, I'm choosing to believe that Bowser giving Mario a sloppy wet kiss is a reference to this 30-year-old meme, and I am prepared to dig in my heels on the claim that Bowser is absolutely a pendulum swinging both ways. I'm sure some conservative parent was miffed that Bowser kissed Mario, but I was not mad because it gives me and all the other bisexual Bowser truthers ammunition.
Gentlemen, we have another one for the box. We have another one for the padded box. Yeah. Desperate to inject their ideology where it doesn't exist. Right there. Bisexual Bowser truthers. Yeah, they put him in the box. This person cannot live in modern society. They do not live in reality. Like, I'm sure conservative parents was miffed that he kissed it, but I was not mad because it gives me ammunition. And I'm sorry, but no, this person, I would not doubt that this person might actually try and voice this. The fact is, he's trying to voice this on children. Okay, let's not fuck with it. This guy wants LGBT foisted upon children. That's why, because remember, this is a children's movie. Super Mario is a children's movie. and this person is desperately trying to say, oh, Bowser's bisexual. Make sure you tell all of your kids that. Make sure you tell all of your children that bisexuality exists. And guess what? They might be bisexual, or they might be gay, or they might be trans. Better get them into surgery right away. Put this person in the fucking box.
This last sentence right here is diabolical. Calling yourself a
Yes.
bisexual Bowser truther is got to be one of the most embarrassing and cringe things I've ever seen.
No, I call it sinister.
But on top
It's
of that,
sinister.
they're basically admitting this was not their intention. But I'm going to make this headcanon anyways and describe this character's pendulum as swinging both ways. And then they bring up conservative parents. No, I don't think these parents were upset about a, like, goofy...
The Bowser, okay, oh, good, nickname. Okay, nickname, you can tell me because it's on the movie. Okay, chat, we're going to get the facts of of the reasoning behind this clip here. The Bowser Mario kiss happened because Bowser wanted to be normal size again, because if you remember from the trailer, he was teeny sized, and he needed Mario to hit him. When he did, Bowser was grateful. It was written for humor, something these people forget exists. So there you go. Again, removing all context from the scene just to inject your screwed up, twisted, disgusting ideology onto children. These people are evil. These people are evil, and they are trying to indoctrinate children. Yeah, it was done. It was deliberately done. Like, I'm going to kiss another guy because because Mario is going to be disgusted like this, and he's going to punch me, and therefore I can become normal size again. But they're going to completely ignore that context because it doesn't push the message.
kiss.
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
That was supposed
They
to
need
be
to
like
check their hard drives.
just silly
Absolutely.
and fun. They
And
probably
nickname,
did not
thank you
have
for
this
shedding light on it. Thank you.
overarching agenda here that was like, oh yeah, this is validation for my headcanon about this fictional character's sexuality. Like, no,
They've
that's
done
not
this
how
in
people
countless
were
movies
reacting.
before
Only
where they do it to
Kotaku
throw people
was
off the
making
game.
something out of this scene. And you can see some of the reactions. You know, God forbid you say Eve from Stellar Blade is hot, but saying a character from a children's game is bisexual is totally okay, though. Yeah, very ironic for Kotaku, who bashes you for enjoying appealing character designs, to come out
because
and
they're trying
make
to push
these
a
sorts
message.
of posts about Bowser's sex.
Well, this guy's basically shitting on Kotaku because Kotaku would not say that Eve from Stellar Blade was hot. They refused. They said she was Kotaku was shitting on Stellar Blade, saying that Eve was being objectified because she was a hot, sexy woman. So they shit all over the game for that. But then they take a children's game and they're trying to foist bisexuality onto a character from a kid's game. So this person's shitting on Otaku from that. Yes.
Sexuality. And you can see some more reactions. First, you want to F animals. Now you're doing the annoying thing of taking a fictional character and throwing your dumb F-stan flag behind it.
Stan. I love
none
it.
of these characters
I love
were
it.
made with your liberal BS in mind. I think people like the guy who wrote this should be locked up in prison.
Yes.
Why are you speculating on the
Yes.
sexuality of a kid's
There you
video
go.
game villain? Disgusting. Slow down, Kenny. I haven't been able to get around to posting my video on your furry stuff yet. Don't worry, that will be another relevant article to talk about. Leave kid things alone, you pervs. Challenge. Stop being degenerate perverts, Kotaku.
Yep.
Impossible. But let's continue on with the article because, again, it's just very, very cringe-inducing. So they say, though Bowser may plant one on Mario, Nintendo and Illumination probably knew better than to have him kiss Luigi, considering the small but very loud and passionate fans who have shipped the two for years.
Yeah, jack off, you misspelled freaks. You misspelled, when you said very loud and passionate fans, yeah, you misspelled agenda-seeking freaks. Understandable because you're not a journalist, you don't know how to write, so it's an understandable fuck up on your part because you barely have two functioning brain cells in your head.
They were already playing with fire with that scene in the first movie in which Bowser interrogates Luigi while twirling his mustache and making Bowser give Luigi a smooch would send those fans, including myself, into overdrive. A forbidden romance.
Okay, sending those fans into overdrive, and he includes himself. So yeah, he's a freak. He is an self-admitted freak here. What's so this guy's into bestiality. So this thing just basically admitted that they're into furry bestiality by saying this. Bear in mind, Bowser is a turtle. And he is one of the shippers of Luigi and Bowser. So this guy is enjoys bestiality.
FBI, open up!
Yeah, someone go check his hard drive. Someone go check this degenerate fuck's hard drive, please. Because I guarantee you, he's either got bestiality porn or child porn on his PC. That he needs to be checked and then thrown to prison.
While Luigi's disapproving older brother eventually comes around because Bowser makes Luigi happy, tell me you don't see the vision. Though Bowser doesn't kiss Luigi
but I'm
in
not
the
a
movie,
freak.
Their loving glances and closeness are giving the Bowigi shippers
Oh my dear God, this
crumbs.
fucking freak.
So yeah, because this guy, this journalist, sees
fucking disgusting,
these sorts
man.
of benign behaviors and thinks, oh, this must be some sort of declaration of their sexuality. I guess everyone has to believe this now, too. I mean, this is completely insane. And then all this talk about shipping, like, this author's like 33 years old. Okay, I think there's a point where it's getting to be a little bit too much, talking like some...
Let's be real. This, I'm not even a Coleman author. This activist, this SJR, absolutely wants to take Bowser's dick up his ass. He absolutely wants to be the catcher, and he wants Bowser to pound the fuck out of his pussy ass. He wants that boy pussy just reamed out by Bowser's turtle dick. Let's not fuck with it.
Teenager on Tumblr or something talking about shipping characters like this from a movie like the Super Mario Galaxy movie, okay? But of course, it kind of reminded me of another post that's gone viral about shippers watching this movie and their reaction. Okay, whatever, this looks very termly online, whatever. But then I scroll down, and there's a community note saying the user is a predator groomer. And
Where's
there's a
the
whole
Google
Doc
Doc
on this individual and all of the allegations they're facing. I mean, you turn a stone over on Twitter and you never know what you're going to find. And this person is apparently a very infamous one based on these allegations and just won't get off of the internet and keeps making stuff like this. But anyways, Kotaku wasn't done. The same author came out here and said, look, I'm not a furry, but when I see Fox McCloud, I get it. The Super Mario Galaxy movie better not awaken anything in me.
Oh my God. Wait, who was it? Same fucking guy. Of course, it's the same fucking guy.
In me.
Oh my God.
Seasoned and experienced age of 33, I know myself pretty well. And that understanding myself doesn't include any furry tendencies, but I can't deny somehow end up playing and watching a lot of furry-based franchises.
Bullshit. Bullshit, this guy doesn't have furry tendencies. This guy is a full-blown furry fucker. Without a doubt, he spends his time beating off the furries on a daily basis. No, I have zero doubt about this. He probably sits in front of his computer looking at furry porn all day and just desperately jerking it going, oh yeah, play with that fluffy tail. Oh, pull those bunny ears. Oh God, I guarantee you. He wrings himself dry over kitty porn. K-I-T-T-Y, not K-I-D-D-Y. Although that second part, I wouldn't doubt either.
Yada, yada, yada. And they're just exclaiming their love for Fox McCloud. This is hard-hitting journalism, ladies and gentlemen. This is Kotaku in action. Yep. Who asked for this? Absolutely no one. And they're getting torched on Twitter for this one as well. Good. But yeah, pretty much anything can...
Astray! Hi! Welcome in, Astray. Welcome in, Raiders. How you doing? We're on the tail end of frankly insanity, but trust me, I've got something good for afterwards. So if you want to see some, oh, and over on Twitch too. Thank you for the double rate, Stray. Thank you so much. Welcome in, welcome in. We're going through some pain. We are going through some pain right now, but we only got like 2 minutes of it left. And trust me, I have something fun for afterwards. So if you would like to stick around and enjoy, please do. Please do. Because we have some fun kaboom stuff coming afterwards.
With Mario is in some form of controversy. We're not even getting into like all the PAL world and lawsuits and stuff like that. That's a whole other story. But there's one more thing I want to talk about quickly because I thought this was funny. The White House, as always, is posting meme-type videos, and they included, obviously, Mario.
Oh, yeah, I saw this.
And people were freaking out about this.
Yeah, I
this
don't know
tweet
why.
with 122,000 likes says, it actually sickens me that the White House obsessed with Nintendo IPs and that Nintendo is silent for the first time ever when their IPs are being constantly used to promote MAGA propaganda.
And here we go. This is the mindset of these absolute fucking freaks that have TDS. This is TDS flat out. That they're going to criticize the White House doing a social media post celebrating the Artemis 2 launch. Something that should be fucking universal. And yes, there's a Canadian guy up there too. This is the White House celebrating a rocket launch. Something that is universal. It's not left, it's not right, it's literally just beautiful science that doesn't give a fuck about politics. Sending man to the moon again for the first time in 50 years. And interweaving the Super Mario stuff where they're flying to the moon. It's zero political, it's zero ideological, it's simply celebrating a triumph of mankind in general, with no ideology and no politics whatsoever. And of course, this fucking freak show, I gotta look him up. Hang on. Silent. Okay, hang on. I have to look him up. Hang on. Hang on. Hang on. Where are they? Here we go. Oh my god, they're Okay, well, let's just start with this. The first thing that popped up when I looked them up, because of course they're going to trans up Link. Of course they're going to do transgender Link and put Princess Peach's head on Link's body. So what do we think is going to be in the bio, chat? She, her, pronouns. CEO of Short Girls, I'm legit amazed that we don't have, flags. Legitimately, I am amazed we don't have flags in the pronoun. Wow. Like, what the fuck are we doing here? What the fuck are we doing here? That you're gonna shit on the White House for once! Fucking once! The White House does a social media post that is completely apolitical, completely asociological, and is literally celebrating a triumph of humanity and science and interweaving it with Mario. And you're going to shit on it and go, oh, because of the current administration, it's got to be MAGA propaganda celebrating man going to the fucking moon. You fucking freak, shut up and go get in the box. Seriously, this is someone that's terminally online, needs to go in the box.
Now, this is actually a video promoting NASA, so I don't really know how, accomplishing feats in
it doesn't,
space
but they have to talk about their
propaganda.
hatred for
I'm
Trump
not
any
quite
chance
sure
they
what the
get.
connection is there, but this person is seething and I guess hoping
A
that
codfish.
Nintendo
I'm secretly a codfish. I mean, I am from Newfoundland, so cod is the fish of Newfoundland. You may not be wholly wrong there.
goes out and sues them for using their IP, but they're not. I mean, for all we know, they have no issue with this. Because if they did have an issue, we know how Nintendo operates.
It's Nintendo.
Okay?
They would have
will take
jumped
down
on it
just about
immediately.
anything.
They would have
They've
sued
proven
immediately.
that time and time again, but they didn't here. Because I guess they didn't find this to be as offensive as this user and
I don't think it's a question of even Nintendo knows they can't win this one. I think it's Nintendo is probably going, we're part of a celebration of humanity's achievement in science. And they're probably like, you know what? We're for it. Nintendo is probably like, you know what? We don't mind because this is celebrating humanity. It's not a divisive post. It's not trying to promote politics, ideology. It's a literal celebration of just humanity in general and what humanity has been able to achieve through science. I imagine they were probably cool with it.
123,000 other people took it, right? They took it very, very personally. They think this is very offensive. Well, too bad. But anyways, that's really all I have for the Super Mario Galaxy movie situation, whatever you want to call this, because, yeah, journos are doing everything in their power to be unlikable, and that's not too surprising if you're, being halfway honest about the situation. But anyways, that's going to do it for this video. As always, feel free to share your thoughts about today's topics in the comment section down below. Hope you guys enjoy the video, and I'll see you next time.
Okay. Well, I went on a little bit of a rant there, didn't I? But I don't care. If I'm going to say something, I'm going to say it.